So if you want to look great, you know, liking what you see in the mirror, feeling confident with your top off, then there is a lot of unsexy things that you need to do to make this possible. Because when you take all the fancy workouts and all the fancy diets aside, true fat loss is actually quite boring. It's a combination of basic habits that are repeated over and over again for a long period of time that get you results. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through 10 unsexy habits you can start doing today to help with your fat loss. Now we're gonna get straight into the video, but if you do want more help with your fat loss, I have a free fat loss guide and you can grab it right in the link in my description. All right then, let's get into it. So I'm gonna be taking you through 10 unsexy fat loss tips, all right? And the first one is to be able to do it when you don't want to do it, all right? And what I mean by this is that motivation on its own is only going to get you so far, okay? Motivation comes and goes. People say, oh, I need to be motivated to do this, I need to be motivated to do that. But the truth is that this motivation will never persist. There's always going to be days where you don't want to do something, days when you're tired, days when you're feeling lazy, and that motivation is not going to be there. And a lot of people, when they do feel like this, is when they stop, when they won't go to the gym, when they'll order in food instead of a takeout because they lose that motivation. But really the people who lose fat and they get great results are the people who can get things done even when they don't want to, okay? They're the people that when they are tired, they'll still go to the gym and get the workout in. They're the people when they can't be bothered to meal prep, they can't be bothered to cook, they'll still cook and they'll still eat healthy and they'll still stay on top of their goals, all right? So the ability to be able to do it when you don't want to is going to be a really, really good and a really useful tip when you kind of lose fat, all right? Number 2 is drinking more water, all right? May sound simple, does sound unsexy, but it is true, all right? Hydration is slept on a lot, and your hydration is going to be slept on a lot too. You know, it makes you feel better through the day when you drink water. Bear in mind, we are like 60, 70% water ourselves. So all of our bodily functions are going to perform better when we are hydrated. So if we're dehydrated, we're not performing as optimally as we can, if that makes sense. So it's going to help you feel better through the day. It's going to help give you more energy through the day because of that. And ultimately, that's going to help you lose body fat, because if you're feeling better, you're more mentally focused, you're going to be more mentally in tune and more mentally ready to work out, to train, to eat well. And as well as that, another thing that's worth mentioning is it can actually help keep your cravings at bay. Because if you're drinking more water, your stomach is actually fuller. And if your stomach has the sensation of being fuller, then you're more likely to stick with your calories. You're not going to be as hungry. The cravings aren't going to be there as strongly, okay? So it can help you stay in that deficit and it can help you lose body fat. Now I recommend, there's 2 ways, and it's either, 2 to 3 liters of water per day to help you with this, or look at your urine and look at your piss basically, all right? If it's yellow, dehydrated, you need to drink more water, unless you've been eating some weird food colouring stuff, or beetroots or something like that. But if the piss is yellow, need more water. If the piss is clear, you're good and you're hydrated. All right. Number 3 is eating the same meals over and over again. Okay. Now, and when people always try to add variety and loads of different meals, it can make fat loss complicated. And then there's a lot of stuff out there as well. This recipe, high protein recipe, burgers, pizzas, pastas, everything is out there. And yeah, these recipes are great and these things are great, but being boring and being basic is going to make your fat loss so much easier, all right? Boring is best. And a thing that I've learned, a thing that I've noticed from a guy named Alex Hormozy, he actually did a video on this, and it was that on average, we all eat the same 7 to 10 meals each day, all right? So if we can change these 7 to 10 meals and align them with your goals, instead of the 7 to 10 options that you're currently having now, we can change that to 7 to 10 healthier, more calorie-friendly options that are in line with your goals, then you will find eating and sticking to your nutrition a whole lot easier. All right. And one thing I suggest to clients is almost create a little menu for themselves or a bank. They have 2 to 3 options at breakfast, 2 to 3 options at lunch, 2 to 3 options at dinner, 2 to 3 options for snacks. And if they are following this, then one, they're going to get that variety and they're going to feel like they're getting variety in the meals. But also it's going to help make sticking with that nutrition a lot easier because there's no overcomplicated methods. You're not thinking about what to eat all the time and you're not getting that decision fatigue when it comes to your food. All right. So eating the same meals over and over again, boring is best. Number 4, low intensity, steady state cardio. Now that's the fancy term for it, all right? But what this is basically low intensity exercise, deliberate low intensity exercise, okay? This is a way you can burn more calories without leaving your body tired and needing to recover, all right? So when you think of, firstly, when you think of fat loss, it's calories in and calories out. That's the baseline, simple science that everyone talks about, right? As much as decreasing your food and eating less calories, which is the obvious choice for everyone, and obviously that's what you want to do, there's also the fact of burning more calories and increasing your expenditure that you have, all right? So when you look at things like running, cycling, sprinting, playing a sport, what happens is it's very taxing on the body. So you can't do it as often. You couldn't go and play football every single day. You couldn't do hill sprints every day or hit cardio every single day. All right. But what you can do is low intensity, steady state cardio every day because you can recover from this a whole lot faster. All right. It's not as impacting on the body. So you can do more of it. All right. So it's repeatable. So you can do it every single day pretty much if you really wanted to without it having much effect on your body. It's low impact, we said. It's going to help you burn more calories, which is going to help put you in a deficit. And as well as that, it's cardio. All of the extra health and heart benefits that comes along with cardio too. All right. And examples of this and what they would be is something very low intensity. So what I like to describe it as is imagine you're going for at the pace of a brisk walk or a march, all right? So you're getting a sweat on, your breathing's getting there, but you can still just about hold a conversation. That's the kind of intensity we will want to kind of aim for with this. And some of the examples could include incline walks on a treadmill, okay? Crank the incline up, walk on the treadmill, put some Netflix on or some tunes on and go for it. You know, the elliptical machine, the Stairmaster, machines like that, we're going at a low intensity at a certain work rate, all right? Great for burning fat, great for burning calories. Cool. Next one, number 5, is tracking your calories. Super simple. And, it is boring. It's unsexy, but it's the most accurate way to know that you're in a calorie deficit. All right? Logging your food and tracking it is going to be the most accurate way to know that you're in a calorie deficit. Why? Because you know everything. You've got all the data. You know exactly how many calories you put into your body each day. So it is a no-brainer to track your calories. It is literally going to make your life a lot easier, all right? It might be a little bit annoying. It might feel a little bit painful, weighing your food out, logging it into an app. But if you can't be asked to do this, then your overall knowledge of your food intake and what's coming into your body, you're not going to know it exactly. You're going to be off, especially if you're kind of new to tracking or new to fat loss and trying it for your first time. The more data you have, the better. With fat loss. So things like this are so important, even if they feel tedious and they feel annoying. So get them calories tracked, know exactly what's going into the body, and you'll be able to, 1, lose fat a lot easier because you know what's coming in, but also you'll be able to adjust, make tweaks, and know exactly where you're going wrong if the fat loss is not coming along as you like it. Okay? Number 6, walking more. Again, this is a way to increase your NEAT, and your NEAT is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, all right? So it's anything or any type of movement that is not deliberately exercise, like me sat here fidgeting at my desk right now, or getting up in your morning commute to work, walking the dog, doing the dishes, little things like that. That all comes under NEAT. It's movement of the body that is not deliberate exercise, all right? And by doing more of this, by deliberately doing more of this, like walking more, moving your body more, setting a step goal, walking to the office when you usually get an Uber or a taxi or the bus or anything like that, it's going to help you burn more calories through the day, all right? And if you burn more calories through the day, then you can make fat loss easier because you're going to put yourself and help put yourself into a deficit for a longer period of time. Yeah. Number 7, eat more protein. Again, sounds like a simple one, but there are a few benefits and a few things that people don't realize when it comes to this. Oh, that was the wrong page. And a few things that people don't realize when it comes to eating protein, and that is that it's going to help you feel fuller, all right? So protein in itself, out of your proteins, carbs, and the fats, protein is going to be your most filling macronutrient, okay? So the more protein you eat, the fuller you're going to feel. And what that means is that you're going to be less likely to snack. You're going to be less likely to go off track with your diet, because the main reason why people fail with the diets is because of hunger, okay? And willpower goes out the window when they're hungry. They eat a load of food, okay? So it's going to help you feel fuller so you can stick to your targets. And it's also going to help you recover and build more muscle, okay? And when we look at it, let's see if I can scroll down. Is it working? Nope. Anyway, it's not working. But the more full you feel, the easier it is to stay in your deficit. And when you eat more protein, you can recover faster from your training, so you can train more, and you can also build more muscle. When we build more muscle, the higher metabolism will be as well, okay? So the more muscle we have, the easier it is to keep body fat off, because muscle and actually holding muscle requires more energy, requires more calories to sustain, okay? So the more muscle you have, generally the more food you can get away with eating, because you are a bigger human being and you require more energy to keep you exactly as you are. Yeah. The next one, as you've already seen, is planning ahead. All right. Remember, these things are not exciting, they're boring, they're unsexy. But planning ahead, something that people don't do enough. All right. The best clients that I've had are the ones that plan ahead with everything. They plan ahead with things like the social occasions. They plan ahead with the work trips. They plan ahead with the potential things through the week that could throw them off track. All right. Maybe they're out with work for a meal. Maybe bring a load of donuts and coffees in the office one day, something like that. They're always kind of actively planning around these and adapting to them. And you know the saying, the old saying that you've all probably heard before, is that you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail, right? So a good way to look at this is, and what I'd like you to do is start planning your weeks in advance. Start planning out things like when you are going to train, what meals you're going to eat, when are you working around social occasions, and how are you going to work around your social occasions when there's food and when there's things involved that can take you off track with your progress, all right? Because the more prepared you are here, the less likely you'll slip up, the more progress you'll make, right? What I do with myself, and one thing I do, is I will literally plan everything out into my calendar. I can actually show you my calendar here right now if you want. So what I have is I have all the days when I'm scheduled to train. I've got all my work stuff and things that I need to do in here as well, but everything's mapped out in the calendar and it's ready and it's planned and it's there. So I know that I've got a set structure to follow, and I've got a plan ahead for the week. If I knew that I was going out on the Friday or something, then I probably wouldn't put a session in on the Saturday to train because I might be hungover, you know? Or if I've got a video to film on a Friday night, but I'm going out for a meal, I wouldn't plan it in there. So planning ahead with your weeks and planning ahead with your nutrition is always going to help you out. All right. Number 9, sleep. Okay. And this is one of the most probably slept on things actually when it comes to fat loss. People think it's all about your exercise you do and the calories that you eat, but sleep is a massive, massive component as well. Because what sleep does is the following, really. It helps you recover from your workouts, your training that you do. It helps you build muscle, because when you sleep, you're recovering, and that's when the adaptations are taking place. That's when you're building muscle. It helps keep your hunger at bay too. Okay, so when you are tired or you're underslept, your body will produce more, cortisol, the stress hormone, and a lot of people have problems with stress eating and they fall to food as a way to cope with stress and means of stress. But also it releases more of the hormone ghrelin, okay? So your hunger hormones, you have ghrelin and you have leptin. Ghrelin is what's produced when you are hungry. That's the feeling of your body telling you to eat food. And leptin is the hormone that signals to you that you're full. So when, oh, I've had enough food, I'm full, I don't need any more. All right. So when you sleep less, or when your sleep's not on point, you don't get enough sleep, your body's going to be producing more ghrelin. You're going to feel a bit more hungrier through the day. Although when you are well slept and you're well rested, your body is producing more leptin, and it's more at more of a balanced level. So then your hunger levels are going to be at bay a little bit more, and it's going to be a lot easier to stay in control of your nutrition and stay in control of your cravings. All right. And the last one's quite a bit of a joke, but you can't eat when you're asleep. So if you're getting more sleep, then you're reducing the window in which you're eating. Okay, so that's going to help you lose body fat if there's more time and more period of the day or the night that you're not eating. So sleep more too. Aim for 7 to 8 hours each week. That's the recommended amount. You know, if you can get the upper end, 8, 9 more, perfect. But 7 to 8 is probably a sweet spot for most adults. So if you're not already, really try this, because it can definitely help you along the way with your fat loss. The last one and the final one is consuming more caffeine. It's an interesting one, all right? A little bit different, but caffeine, and the main reason why I say caffeine is, I know it sounds a bit conflicting with getting more sleep, so be careful with your consumption of this, but caffeine is a good appetite suppressant, all right? It will help you suppress your appetite. All of these supplements, and you see, oh, it's the Fat Burner 3000 or these fat burning supplements that are out there, the main ingredient in a lot of these is caffeine, all right? It's kind of a bit of a scam, which pumps you full of stimulants of caffeine. That helps keep your hunger at bay, that helps you eat less calories, that helps you burn more body fat, all right? So drinking more coffee, maybe a little energy drink in the morning, things like that, and consuming a little bit more caffeine through the day can actually help keep your hunger at bay a little bit more, because it's gonna help suppress your appetite, all right? So if you're not ready, maybe a little bit more caffeine in your day can help. You get them little hunger cravings in the early afternoon or the morning when you usually kind of reach for the snacks and go for food. Try having a coffee instead. Try having a little bit of caffeine instead. It can help keep them cravings at bay and help you stick with your calories. So they are my 10 unsexy tips to help you lose body fat, all right? Hope you've enjoyed this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave another video up in the corner. It is my super simple approach that I use myself and clients to help them lose body fat. I'll leave it up here for you to give you a watch. But if you haven't subscribed, if you like these videos, give this channel a subscribe, watch more of my content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.